Welcome back to Discovery Studios, my custom theme park I'm making in Planet Coaster 2. And if you somehow don't remember, last time we made this monstrosity, which it seemed like everyone in the comments thought that's not a real roller coaster going in this park. But it in fact was. It's part of the brand new PlayStation themed area, the final area we're building, and the plan was to theme this Max Striker roller coaster to Little Big Planet. And with that game being quite a two-dimensional looking game, I thought it'd be really cool to make this huge two-dimensional looking coaster. And having done just that, now we have to theme it. So join me today as I go through the entire process of theming up this massive ride, and even show you a small POV towards the end, which, bear in mind, there is still a lot of work to do on this thing, so be sure you subscribe so you don't miss future episodes, because there's plenty more episodes still to come, because we are on episode number 20 of this Discovery Studios theme park. I originally said right at the start, oh, it's only going to last about 15 or 20 episodes. Of course, I've managed to overrun that, as I always do, but this will be the penultimate episode of the Little Big Planet coaster and area, so the next one will also be about this coaster, and then we'll move on to that final ride. And then I've still got to build the Pokemon Dark Ride as well. There's still quite a few things left to do in Discovery Studios. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying this series, but as you can see, with the coaster we're building currently, we have the Max Striker. In the last episode, I built this insane roller coaster with the Beyond vertical launch at the top, but obviously it goes up that very long vertical launch beforehand, and then it heads up into a stall and then goes down this layout, a little bit like a polar coaster, to be fair. And a lot of you guys in the comments were a bit confused, saying this doesn't look like something for Discovery Studios, it's a bit unrealistic, and some people saying they prefer when I build the realistic rides. This will be the only unrealistic thing. I thought Little Big Planet as a game is quite unrealistic anyway. I had to make something that was a bit borderline not realistic in the park for that. Of course, every other ride we've built so far has been very realistic. We can make it slide for one. It's fine. It'll do. But yeah, as you can see, I'm already starting with that sort of cardboard box I was speaking about in the last episode. If you don't know Little Big Planet, like I've mentioned in the intro, it's a two-dimensional game with some 3D elements to it where you can sort of like go back into some of the scenery and everything. That's sort of what I wanted this coaster to look like. And a lot of the stuff in Little Big Planet is all stickers and like cardboard, and it's very like, looks handmade almost. So I thought it'd be really nice to bring that in, especially with the Toy Box DLC they released not too long ago. For the game. Very, very useful for this. And yeah, we're going to have 3 layers to it. Originally I was going to have more, but I feel like that's just too much at this point, where we're going to go down into different themed areas. So the bottom, you're going to have this sort of forest, and like with these, I don't know, sticker trees and these toy wooden block trees and everything, and a few actual bigger trees. Then you're going to have like an Egyptian bit with like pyramids and stuff, and then also at the top, that first section where you've got like the most intense elements per se and the inversions and everything. You'll have like a volcanic and dragon-esque lava room. It sounds intimidating, doesn't it? But that's the problem with the game is, well, it's not really a problem because it's great, but there's way too many themes that have been injected into it because there's so many different levels, and at the same time, people can make their own levels in it. It's a bit of a sandbox game in that respect. So obviously, I could put any theme I want into this entire thing, and I thought forest sort of vibe at the end of the ride might be a bit more calm, and obviously you've got these toy trees and everything that are in that toy box pack, and I thought that was great for that. You obviously have a few references to the game in that room. And then the other two, I didn't just want to do like a jungle that we've already seen in the Crash Bandicoot land and some of the like planet-esque ones we've got in Ratchet and Clank. So I've actually gone for 2 very unique themes, like I've mentioned, the volcano and the Egyptian one. It's sort of bringing me back to Isle of Discovery with that Egyptian theme. It felt really weird building pyramids again. But either way, it was fun. So yeah, I end up building those as well. Just something different that you can sort of look at and you don't go, oh, well, I can just go to the Crash Bandicoot area and go on a jungle ride and get chased by a stone. That's the same thing as the Little Big Planet one. If Discovery Studios was a real theme park, which I know we all wish was, do we? I would want people to look at this coaster and want to ride this along with everything else, not just single it out for looking the same as everything else. So yeah, those themes will be different enough to move forward with that. Yeah, making a tree here out of wooden blocks, I know the physics on that wooden block don't really work, that one, but oh well, it's a video game. And then I considered putting some animals on, and then I just went for this. But we're just going to do loads of stuff like that in this area down here. And of course, that is also where the start of the ride is. You're going to turn around, and I've sort of looked into Little Big Planet a little bit more because I haven't played it in a very long time. I've reminded myself that the start of the game / when you're in like the main hub that you sort of start in before you go into these different levels is very sort of just cardboarded rooms with loads of space stars outside, and it's very like you can see the earth and stuff like that. So I want to try and replicate that, and I know I spoke about different themes and not trying to make things look the same, and the Crash Bandicoot ride starts in space, and so does this one, and technically so does the Ratchet and Clank one, but it doesn't matter because they're all different. That's more of like a sci-fi space. This is more of a homemade cardboardy space, because you know that it definitely exists. So I'm going to do that for the start of the ride, indoors in like a hub, and then you're going to sort of turn around and see Sackboy, who is the main character, which I haven't built just yet, but I'll be doing that in the next episode. I want to make sure I get that perfect, because let's be honest, if you're an avid viewer of this series, it has been so long since the last episode. We're 7 minutes into this episode almost, and this is the first time I'm mentioning this. I probably should have started with this. Yeah, my apologies for taking so long. And the main reason, of course, I'm still getting settled in. Of course, I have moved house at the start of this year, which it's been so stressful at times, like getting things sorted and obviously trying to do my normal videos at the same time. So that's been quite a stressful one, especially when it comes to Planet Coaster, because I don't want to rush things like I always say. So having to find the time to sit down and, you know, build these coasters, build these theming pieces and everything like that, I haven't found the time. That's just the end of the story. So obviously I don't want to just release videos where, oh, I'm skipping the Little Big Planet coaster now, I'm going to build this roller coaster and then just make it all over the place, because that's not how I work with my theme park series. And this sort of episode proves that, because we're still going with the Little Big Planet coaster even after a 3-week gap, I think. So hopefully, again, I say this every time, hopefully the next episode isn't too far away, but I can't promise anything. We're going to finish off this entire ride and then move on to that final coaster. And I think as much as I do want to make that final coaster the final ride we build in the park, that Pokemon Dark ride that I'm going to go back to, I think is going to be top notch, like the best ride we have here. So hopefully that'll be the last thing, and then we can move on. There might be 2 or 3 episodes for that one dark ride, genuinely, because it's going to be huge. So yeah, that is going to be one little project and a half. Definitely not a little project, much bigger project. And then we move on to whatever comes next in the form of the next park after we've done the tour and sort of the finale, the fireworks show. Yeah, the next park, I say it every time, I'm going to say it again, it'll be even bigger and better than this one. So the rides in this park have kept getting better, in my opinion anyway. I'm very excited to start this next park. I have some very good ideas for it. It's going to be quite a bit different from the 2 we've done already. It won't be IP based. Yeah, it's going to be good. But as you can see, now starting the... I've kind of skipped the middle room, because it's a lot of the same stuff where I just put the sky in, and then obviously those pyramids. That is literally just some marble blocks just on top of each other, and that was pretty much it. So I've decided now to move on to the top room, which is that volcanic fiery room with loads of lava and everything. And of course we're still building it out of like the rocks and the cardboard. I know rocks aren't really like 2D and handmade, sort of DIY type things where you can cut tape and stick rocks together like you do with cardboard or like felt and stuff. I know it's not like that, but there's rocky terrains in Little Big Planet, so it is perfectly fine. We'll run with that, because there's one thing on this coaster that I think we need to point out more than anything, and that is, as much as I've said this is a less realistic coaster, who would make a massive cardboard box and stick a roller coaster in it in an actual theme park? Someone probably will. Merlin probably would, to get a world record or something. I just think the support structure currently, or the lack thereof, makes this look a lot less realistic. Because I think once I stick that on, it will look a lot better. Because when I show you the POV and when I'm showing you it off-ride and everything, you'll realise, as you might have already, there's currently no supports holding this entire coaster up. which is just so unrealistic. And obviously these parks I want to make as realistic as possible, and that's a big part of it. But custom supporting this thing is going to take quite some time, which is why I'm going to focus on that in the next episode, along with all the other bits, like making the rest of the area. If you have any suggestions for like a, I don't know, a flat ride or maybe a smaller ride round in this area, not a dark ride, because we've got way too many dark rides now in the park, which I never thought I would say starting this project, then yeah, leave it in the comments below. Some cartoon fire going in. Thought that looked really cool. And yeah, some real fire. The thing is, when you sort of think of Little Big Planet, you think of all these terrains and things, and then you think of the fact that you used to be able to just like take stickers and stuff and just whack them wherever you wanted. So you'll actually see over time, I think I might do it in this time lapse, as much as I'm making like a clay spire lava trail. Okay. You'll actually see me place down loads of different stickers everywhere just to sort of make it look. Obviously, I don't just place, I don't know, a bright yellow sun sticker in the corner of this volcanic eruption area. I don't do that, but I will stick some stuff here and there to make it look a little bit more cartoony and more artsy, as you would with a Little Big Planet world. There you go. Literally as I'm talking about it. Wow. Perfect timing. Just, yeah, some nice little stickers here and there. And yeah, when you view this from far away, it's going to look really, really cool, because it's just like, what on earth is this cardboard box, and how is there so much track in it? So many different themes in it as well. How does it transition from one to the other? And I've actually done a really cool thing with the launch that goes all the way up. So you actually can't really see it unless you look really closely. And I'll get onto that later on. But yeah, just making those transitions a little less you know, obvious, because you sort of just crash through into different worlds. It's quite funny. I probably should have made better transitions into each themed area, but I think it works well. It's quite cool. And yeah, just literally getting a view of that. I also like the sort of green, yellow, red sort of tiers of colours that we've gone for as well. It's quite a nice colour scheme. There's obviously a lot of blues in there as well, some sort of darker colours in this room that we're building. And yeah, you're going to be able to view this. I don't know what to do. I feel like I should have some sort of restaurant or some sort of viewing area that's further away from the coaster, so you actually can't get right up to the cardboard box, because otherwise that just ruins the immersion of it, because you're just going to be looking directly at it. But I've made like a pit at the front of it. Maybe, I don't know, the length of the cardboard box away from that, I should have a pathway and a plaza area where you can just see the coaster off in the distance, but you actually can't go up to it and like see the actual 3D nature of it until you're actually on the ride, because I feel like that sort of ruins the immersion a little bit. As you can see, it does go out the cardboard box at one point. I forgot to mention that, and I've actually made it look like the cardboard box is being broken out by the coaster there, which again would be so much better from a distance. I think I am actually going to do that. I think I'm going to make a plaza area, maybe with another flat ride or something that is further away, and then obviously that queue line will either go underground or you won't be able to see into that entire build, because I think that looks so much better. I'm also going to detail the outside of the box a little bit more as I build another breaking out section. I guess you could say with that section, I thought outside the box. Oh! Okay, we need to go into real time. Apologies for my awful joke. As you can see, we are now outside of the PlayStation portal. You need to speed up a bit. Get out of my shot! I'm actually going to pause the game for a second, because as you can see, the frame rate when I'm sort of paused is not that bad. But if I start walking and then unpause, yeah, this frame rate is... I've just glitched out the world as well. So pausing will do me a little bit better for now. The Ratchet & Clank coaster over us as we enter in. Of course, the Crash Bandicoot area off to the left over there as well. Still yet to do my finishing touches to that. And then directly in front of us, behind the boomerang, is the Little Big Planet roller coaster. And can you just imagine if you're in the PlayStation area and you actually can't see this, and then suddenly behind the trees and everything, as you walk down here, it just reveals itself. And maybe where that square is, have that sort of plaza area or a bit higher up, so you can see more of it. And yeah, just look at it. It's just a lot of fun, isn't it? Like, it doesn't look very serious as a ride. And obviously it does look quite cool on the sides with those sort of breaking out sections at the bottom and over here as well. And to be fair, it's quite the tall structure when you see it from the entrance area. So maybe I'll have to plant some very tall trees. But yeah, as you can see, we've got the box itself, the coaster running around the entire thing, and all the different theming in between. We're going to go into each room and show you. Starting with this final room on the ride that I decided to make a foresty area, as you saw at the start of the time lapse. I don't know why I'm explaining that again. You've obviously got these sort of block toy trees, and then down here we've got like a big tree made out of wooden blocks. We've even got some orbs that are like bubbles in the game, some like random little pieces, of course some actual bushes, and then we've got the sort of sticker trees all around the outside along with some clouds. And it does look really, really nice. Again, it's not supposed to look like a really highly detailed forest, and as much as it isn't fully complete yet, it's just supposed to look like a toy box forest. That's all it took to explain that. Moving up to probably the most relatable to the game room, the Egyptian pyramid style room, and as you can see, you drop down into here quite a few times before you actually end up like coming down here properly. And we've got various pyramids and like doodles everywhere. You've got like doodling on the wall, and even the sun over there is a doodle as well. You've got some like structures here, which if you don't remember Isle of Discovery, my previous series, that is a little bit of a reference to one of the areas in that. So shout out to those of you who understood that reference with these sort of pyramids and the wooden structures around it. But yeah, you've got this wooden structure bit here, and then of course you can see these hanging like rope things, but in the game you actually grab onto these sorts of things and swing left and right on them. So I'm actually tempted to make these swing back and forth with a motion platform. And then I've also placed loads of these arrows on the wooden boards everywhere, just to again give it more of that Little Big Planet feel. Some cacti along the ground, that right there is like a checkpoint in the games. And then overall you've got that sort of depth with like the pyramid in the background that's actually just a flat pyramid on the wall, as you can see, and then the 3D pyramids in front as well. I think that worked out quite nicely, as did the volcanic room right at the start of the ride. As you can see, there's a few effects that if I unpause it, as you can see, there's a lot of fire going on. But we've got this cartoon fire coming out of these volcanoes with the stickers running down it and the clay and everything, and then you've got like a dragon in the background, some little cartoon fires, a warning sign, some like chains over here on some more wooden blocks, and then obviously that section that breaks out of the cardboard box as well, which is literally just an overbank, which I thought looked quite cool from both angles really. And to get to that top room, you of course go through that vertical launch, if you remember that from last time, which you can't see. Oh, look at my illusion work. It's really easy to see if you look hard enough, because I've stuck it in a tunnel, and yeah, I've tried to make it sort of blend in with the backgrounds and stuff. Like down here you can see exactly where it is, but I guess if you don't look hard enough you can't really notice it. And you do actually shoot through there. I'm not going to show you behind me where the pre-show is and stuff, because I'll save that for next time. But yeah, you've got these sort of star screens all the way up with some cardboard all around the outside, and then you shoot up all the way to the top and out of the top, which there is supposed to be some smoke there, which is now filling in. Yeah, so it looks like you're just being shot into darkness, and eventually you come out of the top and end up in the top room. But yeah, there's loads of stuff that I could do with this entire area. I could also add some theming up here, maybe some more clouds, or maybe like another dragon that's actually 3D shooting fire at you. I don't know. Should I put Sackboy or some other like characters from the game around that entire ride? I'm not too sure, but we'll hop on for a work in progress POV, and well, I hope you guys enjoy it.
Occasionally you're going to get stuck. It's nothing to get upset about. Press the menu button to bring up your pocketbook. Then press and hold the action button.
hang on a minute, ignore this part, because I'll continue to add more to that ending and also the start, as I've already said multiple times, in the next episode of Discovery Studios, and hopefully it won't be too long until that episode, because yes, again, I'm really sorry for how long it's taken to release this video, but I can guarantee I will get on it and I will stop delaying it and hopefully get more episodes out in due course. I hope you enjoyed this crazily weird roller coaster. If you did, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future episodes and future Planet Coaster 2 content in general, and I'll see you in the next episode, hopefully not in 600 weeks. Goodbye.